Monitor and control project work. Monitor and control project work is the process of tracking, reviewing, and reporting the progress to meet the performance objectives defined in the project management plan. To begin with, look at the difference between monitoring and controlling. When monitoring project work, you're collecting project performance data with respect to a plan, producing performance measures, and reporting and disseminating performance information. When controlling the work, you are comparing actual performance with planned performance, analyzing variances, assessing trends to effect process improvements, evaluate possible alternatives, and recommending appropriate corrective action as needed. You can consider monitor and control project work as the parent process to most of the other monitoring and control processes. The PMBOK guide identifies the following inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs for this process. In the next screen, we will discuss the inputs to this process. Where does the information you are monitoring come from? One of the important inputs is the project management plan, which not only contains the project baselines but also the thresholds for variance for each of the project objectives, including at least scope, quality, schedule, and cost. Let us look at some project documents that can be considered as inputs for this process. The assumption log contains information about assumptions and constraints identified as affecting the project. Basis of estimates indicates how the various estimates were derived and can be used to make a decision on how to respond to variances. The cost forecasts are used to determine if the project is within defined tolerances ranges for budget and to identify any necessary change requests based on the project's past performance. The issue log is used to document and monitor who is responsible for resolving specific issues by a target date. The lessons learned register may have information on effective responses for variances and corrective and preventive actions. The milestone list shows the scheduled dates for specific milestones and is used to check if the planned milestones have been met. The quality report includes quality management issues, recommendations for process, project, and product improvements, corrective actions recommendations, and the summary of findings from the control quality process. The risk register provides information on threats and opportunities that have occurred during project execution. The risk report provides information on the overall project risks as well as information on the specified individual risks. Based on the project's past performance, the schedule forecasts are used to determine if the project is within defined tolerance ranges for schedule and to identify any necessary change requests. Another input to this process is work performance data, which is gathered during work execution and passed to the controlling processes. The inputs to compare actual project performance to the planned performance are the project management plan and the work performance information. The enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets can also influence this process. In the next screen, we will discuss the tools and techniques used in this process. Monitor and control project work not only involves identifying variances but also determining whether the variance is acceptable, what caused the variance, and what you should do about it. This is where expert judgment is useful. Expertise is used to analyze performance, pinpoint the cause of variances, and determine the appropriate actions to address performance variances. You can use a number of techniques to analyze past and current performance and also forecast future performance. Let's understand some of the data analysis techniques that can be used in this process. Alternative analysis is used to select the corrective actions or a combination of corrective and preventive actions to implement when a deviation occurs. Cost-benefit analysis helps to determine the best corrective action in terms of cost in the case of project deviations. Earned value provides an integrated perspective on scope, schedule, and cost performance. Root cause analysis focuses on identifying the main reasons for a problem. It can be used to identify the reasons for a deviation and the areas a project manager should focus on in order to achieve the objectives of the project. Trend analysis is used to forecast future performance based on past results. It looks ahead in the project for expected slippages and warns the project manager ahead of time that there may be problems later on in the schedule if established trends persist. This information is made available early enough in the project timeline to give the project team time to analyze and correct any anomalies. The result of a trend analysis can be used to recommend preventive actions if necessary. Variance analysis reviews the differences between planned and actual performance. This can include duration estimates, cost estimates, resources utilization, resources rates, technical performance, and other metrics. The PMBOK guide mentions many analytical techniques, including fault tree analysis, failure mode effect analysis, and grouping methods. Don't worry, you don't have to know and understand all those methods of forecasting. You should just understand the basic ideas that you can use the past performance, variable that drive the future, or expert judgment to develop a forecast. A decision-making technique that can be used includes but is not limited to voting. Voting can include making decisions based on unanimity, majority, or plurality. Meetings may be face-to-face, virtual, formal, or informal. They may include a project team members and other project stakeholders when appropriate. In the next screen, we will discuss the outputs of this process. Work performance information is combined, recorded, and distributed in a physical or electronic form in order to create awareness and generate decisions or actions. Examples of work performance reports include status reports and progress reports. Work performance reports can contain earned value graphs and information, trend lines and forecasts, reserve burn-down charts, defect histograms, contract performance information, and risk summaries. By comparing the project management plan with the work performance information, the project manager can determine whether any change requests are required. Changes can impact the project management plan, project documents, or product deliverables. If a change request is initiated, it will go to the Perform Integrated Change Control process. Any change to the project management plan goes through the organization's change control process via a change request. Changes identified during a monitor and control project work process may affect the overall project management plan. Some project documents may be updated as a result of carrying out this process. Changes in cost forecasts resulting from this process are recorded using cost management processes. Issue log records all new issues raised as a result of this process. The lessons learned register is updated with effective responses for variances and corrective and preventive actions. Risk register records all new risks identified during the process. Schedule forecast records changes in schedule forecasts resulting from this process.